All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Neutral Zone, episode 40 of our live series. Let me
Yes,
fix
he is.
the title really quick because I got the title all screwed up.
What do you got the title saying?
It's just I had caps lock on my computer turned on, so it's screwed
Oh,
up
okay.
kind of. So it should be fixed now. But today we're going to be previewing Week 7. Obviously, we're going to the Ohio State Oregon game this week, so we're going to talk about that as well. I think LSU Ole Miss play, Florida Tennessee play.
Man, it's an amazing
Um,
week of college football.
USC Penn State. So should be some good games to kind of talk about. Before we kind of talk about Ohio State Oregon, though, what are some key things you're looking for as far as college football, obviously outside of the Ohio State Oregon game this week?
Yeah, so this year has been absolute chaos. There's been no real clear indication on who the best teams are. Looks like a lot of parity, which is, can be seen as a good thing. What I'm really looking for is those teams to start to break away. So we could start to get some delineation of who the really good teams are. Is Texas one of the top teams that we should already cement into the college football playoffs? Is Ohio State? Is Oregon? I think between these next 2 weeks, and if you look at the schedule, both of these 2 weeks have some amazing college football. I think we'll have a clearer picture on who the really good teams are this year. What's your thoughts? What do you think?
I think my biggest takeaway or my biggest, I guess, assumption from this week is that I think another top 5 team outside of Oregon and Ohio State are going to look really bad.
I can see that.
I think Penn State could lose on the road at USC. I think Texas could lose to Oklahoma. I don't think Alabama will lose to South Carolina number 7, but I don't think they'll lose. I don't anticipate Georgia losing to Mississippi State, but I would say the Texas matchup and the Penn State matchup to me are circled because I think USC is explosive enough to hang up some points on Penn State, and I also think the Red River rivalry is hostile enough to where we could see an upset like we did last year.
Yeah, I think I saw that Oklahoma's won 7 of the last 10. So in some way, even no matter where these programs are, one, it's a rivalry, and I think those things matter. If you go back and you look at that Alabama Auburn game last year, obviously Alabama was able to pull it off, but the assumption was that Alabama was going to blow Auburn's doors off. You go back to the game Ohio State Michigan year in and year out, one team seems to be vastly better. And that game seems to always be close. So I think Oklahoma has a very good defense, but they have some concerns on the offensive side of the ball. But that seems to go out of the window when you're talking about these deep rivalries, not just I'm calling this a rivalry to make it a rivalry. But I think there are some games that are deep rivalries where you literally have to throw the record out of the window.
Yeah. Edgar's crazy.
What did he say?
He said Big Jack's in the kitchen.
Yeah, literally.
I think another thing I'm looking forward to this week is seeing how Colorado looks against Kansas State. I think if Colorado can beat them, then I'm not going to say they got to be a favorite.
Go ahead and get it, boy, the favorite. Go ahead. You hate on them.
You done?
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say they're the favorite to get to the Big 12 title game, but I think they have a chance to. Let me say this: to beat Kansas State.
If they beat Kansas State, I think I'm not going to call them the favorite to win the Big 12, but I would lightly pencil them in to the Big 12 conference championship game.
That's surprising considering what's their conference record right now? 1-0?
I know they're undefeated in the conference. I don't know how many Big 12 games they've played.
They're 2-0 in the conference.
But I know they're undefeated. But because when I look at that conference, Utah, Cam Rising, that situation, obviously to tell the two different teams whether he's playing or not, but he doesn't play so much that now we just got to assume that this guy is not going to play college football. He's almost like Mr. Glass. He every season seems to have significant amount of periods of time where he isn't playing. So I got to assume that this guy's never playing. And every other team is I think Colorado can beat. Now they can also lose to, but they can beat. I would call probably Kansas State out of all the teams, the one team that I would say is the best. And I use that very, very lightly. And if Colorado can beat them, what up, Bama? If Colorado can beat them, they're then 3-0 in the conference. They've beaten what I think would be the best team. I think they got to feel really good about themselves. And like I said, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think they would probably find themselves in the conference championship.
The other game, obviously, talked about is the LSU Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
I think this game has massive implications in the SEC.
Let me ask you, would you say the loser of this game is out of playoff contention?
It depends who it is. I think if LSU loses, they're out. I don't think if Ole Miss loses, they're out because I think Ole Miss would be favored in every game except one game left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think LSU would be favored in a bunch of LSU. I'm sorry, Ole Miss after this game, their two toughest games are Georgia and Oklahoma, and they play both of them at home. I would assume they're going to be favored against Oklahoma at home, and they'll probably be underdog against Georgia. So let's just say they go 9-3, then they can still get in. Someone said Boise will get a bye over the Big 12 because of the amount of parity. I don't know how that works.
So it's supposed to be the top 4 conference champions, but I don't know how the group of 5, if the group of 5 champion also plays into that.
I have no idea. So yeah, Ole Miss, if they lost, I think they'd still get in, but LSU, I don't think if they lost, they'd get in because they still play A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma. So they'd have one more hard game. They go to A&M. So obviously it's going to be a hard one. It's the 4 best conference champs out of all 5. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. That is, to me, that's a big game. I have mentioned before, I think the SEC is going to get in 5 teams. I don't like it. I know Steven doesn't necessarily agree. But I think the SEC is going to be, and even if you're talking about it at that 4, right now you're kind of looking at, I think, and I'm going to go out on a limb, that Alabama had a bad game, and they're going to look much better the rest of the season. I think Georgia's going to look good the rest of the season. I think Texas is going to be in contention. So I think those 3, if you're talking about 4, that 4th spot is between a number of teams. Ole Miss, LSU, Tennessee. I mean, we can keep going down the list. This game is going to be a big deal, right? Especially if we're now splitting hairs between who that 4th or 5th SEC team is, because head-to-head, obviously, it should be the thing that wins out in a tiebreaker.
Yeah, the only problem with head-to-head is everyone's going to have head-to-head over everyone. So
yeah, good point.
Because it's going to be hard to compare an Oklahoma to an LSU if LSU has a head-to-head over somebody else. I think
that only matters in a 3-way tie. If I'm talking LSU specifically versus Ole Miss, then this is the game. Now, if we're talking, we're vying for 3 teams, and we're talking Ole Miss, LSU, and Tennessee, then yeah. Then it's
well. The only good thing about that, Brandon, is Ole Miss plays a number of teams.
Georgia, you don't have Alabama in? You're saying
I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's.
Bama, you saying Alabama's not getting into playoffs? You're a Bama fan. I feel like he's trying to oversell this now.
No, he's trying to use reverse psychology. So when it
happens, This is like I'm betting against Ohio State tomorrow. I'm letting you know.
No, you're not.
I'll put my money against, because then if they win, hey, if they lose, it gives me a little bit of.
What are you betting?
I'll probably go 100 straight up on Oregon.
And what would that win you?
Oregon's the underdog, so probably, I don't know. I'd have to look, probably 115.
Dang, Steve-O, my boy got the suds like SpongeBob.
The suds? What is the suds?
I have no idea. You talking about my nose? Is that what you're talking about?
That California lingo, man. I don't be up on that.
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, Sterling, you gotta help us out. What is the suds?
This dude is a weirdo. At Tennessee, at LSU, home versus Missouri and Oklahoma.
You're talking about Alabama's schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect it. I think there's some things that Alabama are going to take from that game. You look at that game, Jam Miller ran the ball 5 times, but averaged 9 yards a carry. I think Alabama got behind. Kalen DeBoer panicked a little bit. I think Alabama's going to go back, look at the tape, and Kalen DeBoer is going to do a better job coaching. I think Alabama, and I know Kalen DeBoer is a 4 wide, air it out guy, but I think you got to play to your strengths, especially when you're playing some of these teams like Vanderbilt, some team that you should just physically dominate. I think you're going to see them go to become a 35 time per game running team. And Bam, I know you mentioned in defense. Yes, defense too. But when you're airing it out and you're turning the ball over, that defense is good. And when I say turn it over, when you're giving the ball back to the other team's offense, that puts a lot of stress on your defense. So if I can control the game, control the clock, play in the trenches, get 4 or 5. What's up?
Did you see Georgia's wide receiver?
Which one?
Colby Young.
Oh, yeah, I know who it is. What happened? Don't tell me he got a speeding ticket.
He got arrested for battery and assault on an unborn child. He got kicked off the team.
Oh, that's crazy. What is going on in Georgia? Like, I feel like they're just recruiting bad people. Like, I don't know. At some point, Kirby Smart.
He came from Miami last year.
Yeah, I mean, but it seems that all of these things are happening at Georgia. But yeah, I think
talking about the portal an awful lot. We need to be talking about the
here we
prison
go.
environment we got there.
Here we go.
That's what we need to be talking about.
And now credit to Dabo. You don't see you don't hear
gang over there.
Now I'm not gonna say Clemson has had no trouble, but you don't hear a lot of major things like this.
What's going on, 708? I don't think I've seen you around here. Welcome to the channel, man.
What up, 708 Liddy? What is 708? What area code is that?
I have no idea. I can't read this shirt.
I'll be honest with you. If Bama doesn't make the playoffs, I absolutely think the defensive coordinator will change out. I don't know about the OC. I believe DeBoer has a big hand in how they run their offense. I think you'll see them change styles a little bit. Like I said, I think you'll see them run the ball. You cannot have a game where Jan Miller's only ran the ball 5 times, especially when he's averaging 9 yards a carry. Kalen DeBoer has to mix a little bit of his style in with playing to Alabama's strengths. But yeah, if they don't make the playoffs, if they drop another game, I would say that the defense, especially at the current trajectory where they're just giving up big plays and getting gashed, I absolutely think the defensive coordinator will be changed.
Yeah, I don't know how quick they will be to fire him just because it is year 1 with DeBoer.
Good point. Good point.
It's like I understand the standard has been set so high with Nick Saban, but if your expectation is to make the playoffs, then when you fire an OC or DC and you bring the next one and they don't make the playoffs, are you just going to keep cycling through them? Are you going to let them? Are you going to let them build through recruiting and stuff like that? It's kind of hard. So at the end of the day, you're not going to make the playoffs every year. I understand that that's the expectation for some programs, but it's just not realistic. He said they be hanging out with all the rappers out there and changing real quick. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That I feel like it's like once a week we see something come out about Georgia and somebody getting arrested.
Yeah,
and that's a big loss too. He's a good receiver.
Kirby has to, and I think some of this has to absolutely lay at the doorstep of the head coach. One, you probably say, okay, bad kid, bad decision. Two, this is even just this offseason, right? We don't even have to go back to the last couple of off seasons. This is about the 3rd or 4th incident this team has had. Like at some point, that head coach, hey, get control of your program, right? Kirby Smart is a heck of a coach, but there has to be about more, especially when you're talking about college. It has to be about more than just wins and losses. Are you leading young men, and do you have control of your program?
Okay, I do want to talk about the Heisman Trophy for a little bit. But before we, he said that 3-3-5 doesn't seem like it's built to stop the run or much underneath. It seems like a bend, don't break defense. Yeah, the thing about them, I feel like with Nick Saban, and who he recruited, I just feel like there's so much talent that at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say they can run any defense, but I don't think it's the scheme that's the issue. I just think you just had a bad game. I mean, I just think that's what it comes down to because the defense looks really good against Georgia. Let's not forget the defense looked really good against
the first
Georgia.
Half.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously late in the game, Georgia kind of
the second half they did not look good. Yeah,
but Georgia is still an all-world team. So I just want to see how Alabama's defense looks for the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
I'm just not so quick to throw in the towel. They obviously still have played some really good offenses. So I wouldn't say that the 3-3-5 is a reason why. Because I think they have such a plethora of talent in the back end that I don't think that's the reason why they're not able to stop offenses. But to kind of move on with the Heisman Trophy, before we talk about like Heisman favorites and like predictions and stuff, we're gonna do something really quick. Can you name the last 20 Heisman winners? How many of those can you name?
If I don't have to do them in order, I could probably name them all.
Okay, well,
20 takes me back to what year?
We'll do till 2004.
Do you have them all up?
I'm looking at them, yeah.
Okay. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush. Like I said, I'm not going to do this in order. Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, Lamar is in there.
That's 5.
Ooh, Troy Smith, I think, is like 2006.
6.
Devontae Smith, Cam
7.
Newton. When is
8.
Cam Newton? No, Cam Newton's like 2010 or 2010.
So that's 8 so far.
Ooh, you said 2002 Mariota.
9.
Johnny Manziel.
10. Halfway.
Joe Burrow.
11.
Okay, let me go. I got to do this by team. Alabama had Ingram, Devontae, Derrick Henry. They didn't have anybody else.
What's going on, 512? What's going on, man?
Ohio State only had the one. Lamar, I got already.
Big names here.
Well, I got all.
Layups.
I also got to think about this in terms of teams. Oh, Jane Daniels. I don't think I said Jane Daniels. Let me go backwards. Jane Daniels. Who won it the year before that? Oh, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield.
13, 14.
Why are you looking like that?
Keep going. No, Brandon, no. You got 6 more.
No, I don't need any hints. So I got 6 more. Okay. I just gave Caleb Williams.
Okay, 15. 5 left.
Sorry, I'm scatterbrained right now. I'm going all over, so don't mind how I'm 15. You said I got how many?
5 left.
Do you know what 5 I have?
1, 2, yes.
I have 5 left.
If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for us. We go live twice a week covering college football. We post throughout the week as well. We're doing a little quick trivia before we talk about Heisman winners. The last 20 Heisman winners, can you name them? He's at 15 so far.
Georgia, I don't think has any. I'm missing 5?
Yeah.
USC.
And there might be one you don't get based on what you're saying.
There's none I won't get.
Well, I mean, if we're here for an hour, probably not, but.
Well, I'm saying so there's no. Okay. You said since Texas. Does Texas have any? No, Texas doesn't have any. I remember that would have been young. Clemson doesn't have any. Georgia doesn't have any. Georgia, nope. Alabama, I've named Ingram, Devontae. Because I feel like this is the one because I said Alabama's done. Devontae Ingram, big boy,
Derrick Henry.
I said Derrick Henry already.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
Still got 5 left.
I said Mariota. Oh, Jameson.
Who the hell is that?
Winston?
Jameis Winston. But he said Jameson.
Oh, you know what I mean.
I think
Jameis
you named
Winston.
him already, didn't you, or did you not?
No, I didn't name Jameis.
4 left then. 4 left. Even though
I said Mariota. Am I still missing 5?
I think you already said Jameis, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right. Dude, can you tell me this? Tell me what years I'm missing.
I feel like that'll give it away.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. There are if I know what guys you missed, there's 1 white guy, no, 2 white guys and 3 black guys.
two white guys. I said Kyler. I said Baker. I
Tyler's not
said,
white.
oh, I'm just, I, s- I said Baker.
And you're missing the two white guys, one back to back.
Oh, Tebow. Give me Tebow.
Okay. So
Um,
four more.
you said one back to back.
Yep. What year did Tebow win it?
Tebow would have won it in what, like 06
No, Troy
or oh
Smith won it in
07?
06.
07?
Yeah.
Okay, so who won it after Tebow? Who won it the year
All right, you
07?
got 1
Okay,
minute to get these last four.
07, Ohio State played LSU in the championship. No,
You
is
got
he
45
saying
seconds.
21 is a year I'm missing?
Yes. I
I'm
tried to
missing
delete the
21?
comment so that way you wouldn't. So I don't know why
Okay.
he's giving you hints.
All right, so I could go back from 21. All right, Jay Daniels won it in 24. Caleb won it 23. Who 22? Who was 22? Did I say the 22 person?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams is 22.
You got 30 seconds to get these last four.
uh,
That's what I'm
who won it
saying.
before Caleb Williams? Who won it before Caleb Williams? He was at Caleb Williams is at Oklahoma. Who the fuck would have won it?
15 seconds.
That wasn't Devontae?
No, Devontae won it in 2020. 5 seconds. All right,
This is gonna piss you. Go ahead.
You ready? Bryce
Yeah.
Young.
Bryce Young.
Not only Bryce Young, RG3,
I should have got RG3.
Sam Bradford,
Okay.
and the last one you didn't name was RG3, Sam Bradford. That might be it.
If you'd have gave me years, I would have got all of those.
That's why I
I
literally
should have got
said.
Bryce Young.
That's why I literally said I'm not giving you the years because it'll give it away. But speaking of Heisman, obviously heading into this week, Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, and who's the other third guy that's on the
Cam
list?
Ward.
Cam Ward are the favorites. Are you leaning towards a specific player, or do you feel like the Heisman race is as wide open as it has ever been?
So I think it is very wide open. I think there's still some names that you got to keep kind of a earmark on. Dylan Gabriel, if he has a big game, especially this week, I think he then propels himself. I know he's a little bit down, but if you figure if he could take off the rest of the season, yeah, Cam Ward is obviously a big name. Watch out for a name like Will Howard. Watch out. I think people are counting Milroe out, but he still has a bunch of big games where he can really go off. Shador, especially if Colorado can play well. Now, the only concern with Shador is I think him and Travis Hunter will kind of take votes from each other. Yours, I have a hard time with. I think he missed too much this season to really be in the race. I think if he would have played all of these games, he'd be very much in this conversation. But missing dang near 3 weeks, I think is tough to then have him win the Heisman. Yeah, I think there's some names. You could also talk about like Klubnik, right? If Clemson runs the table the rest of the way, and then remember it comes after conference championship. So if Klubnik can have a good run the rest of the way, I still think there's going to be somebody. I'm not going to say that wins it, but there's going to be somebody in New York that's probably not in our betting favorites right now. Obviously, I think you got to give Genty much respect. The problem with Genty is just that playing Group of Five, I think, is going to hurt him. I truly think that Genty playing Group of Five is going to be the thing that kind of sinks his ability to be in not be in New York, but sinks his ability to win it. And I think Colorado may be sunk. Travis Hunter may be sunk by a Colorado team that may go 8-4. So yeah, my early favorite right now would probably be Cam Ward of those three. But I think you're going to, like I said, I wouldn't count out a guy like Dylan Gabriel. I wouldn't count out a guy like probably right now. I'd probably say Dylan Gabriel. Who would you say your dark horse is?
Drew Allar.
The problem with Drew Alar is I don't think Penn State throws enough for him to put up the numbers that he would need.
Well, I mean, you got to think he has similar numbers to Cade, and if he's able to beat
Ohio State,
if he's able to run the table, then I think he has to be in that conversation, because at that point you're going to have. I mean, we saw Stetson Bennett, not have the greatest of numbers, but he was winning so many games that he went just based off. And I'm not saying win it. I'm just saying get to
go to. Okay, I can see him. Yeah, especially 12-0. If he had a 253 touchdown game, led they talk about that Heisman moment. Yeah, Jackson Dart, I didn't think about it.
I think Sanders has a potential to go. I think they would need to win.
I mentioned Shedeur. I mentioned Shedeur.
10 or 11 games though.
Shedeur had some Heisman moments, right? Obviously, the play to win the game against Baylor. So he has some Heisman moments. And he's going to put up numbers. He has to put up numbers for Colorado to win. I like Alar. I just think they play so conservative at Penn State. That's kind of where I am with it.
You think Penn State wins this week against USC? They're a 3-point favorite.
I do, because I think what Penn State does well is exactly what USC doesn't do necessarily great. I mean, when you have a Michigan team that is going to run on you, and they're able to run on you, Penn State has just as good of an offensive line as Michigan. And they have two very good backs, probably better than that running back tandem at Michigan. And they have a little bit more of the threat of the pass. I got Penn State winning that game.
Is there any team that you think is going to get upset this week? And Ohio State, Oregon's not an upset.
I don't think that's an upset. No, I think this week is going to be a little bit more of return to normalcy. I think we had a crazy week last week. I think this week is going to be a return to normalcy, because I think every coach of every big program is saying, let's not be the teams of last week. So I think every team is going to come out not overlooking the little guy. And outside of the games that are 50-50 games, I don't think you're going to have a crazy upset this week.
What do you feel about the Arizona BYU game?
I want to see now. I've said this. BYU has, and I know people are gonna chuckle at this, but has as good of a resume as anybody in the top 25. In fact, they have 2 top 25 wins. That Arizona team is hot and cold. I think for BYU, one, I expect BYU to win. This is a team that put it on that Kansas State team that I just said was a pretty good team. Arizona, that defense is horrendous. I mean, you're really looking at 2 players. You're looking at Mack and you're looking at Fafita. And if you can find a way to stop them, then you can handle Arizona. I think this is another opportunity for BYU to show the world that they are real. Again, only team I think in the top 25 with 2 top 25, and I mean current top 25 wins, and they're number 14. I think they should feel a little bit disrespected. And I think this is another opportunity for them to go out and be a good team and show that they are legit. What's your thoughts on that game?
I think Arizona's going to beat them. I think Arizona's offense is really good. And I think the Big 12 has a lot of parity. I'm excited to watch this game. Obviously,
what time is that game?
To the Ohio State Oregon game. It starts at 1, so we'll be able to catch it probably East Food or somewhere over there. But I think Fafita and McMillan are one of the best tandems in college football, and I don't know if Arizona's going to be able to stop the BYU offense, but I know that Arizona can score the football, and I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to points. And I hope Arizona wins, because I don't want Arizona to kind of fall to the back of the bus when it comes to
because they lose this week, it's over for.
Yeah, really talented football teams that didn't pan out, because we looked at them last year as like a Cinderella story, and then this year they've kind of the floor fell out from underneath them. Iowa State will never get respect until they win the Big 12. I don't think they're going to win the Big 12 this year.
But yeah, I think that's what it's going to take for them to get respect.
Who do they play this week? They play West Virginia. I think that's gonna be a good game too. They play on the road
So
in West Virginia too at night.
it's funny. There was a guy on my plane that was going to that game.
You guys were just talking about it, or
Yeah, he was, and he must be a West Virginia alum because he was West Virginia down. I'm talking about socks. So he had some West Virginia slippers on. So I don't know if he had played before, and I didn't want to get all into the guy's business. But he was telling me, "Oh yeah, I go to a bunch of West Virginia games. I'm going up for the West Virginia Iowa State game."
and you told him you were going to this game?
I did.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, corny story, but it just reminded me as you said it.
Yeah, I don't talk to people when I travel. That's why I asked. Like, yeah,
Why do you not talk to people? What is wrong
That's
with
just
you?
weird, I guess. I don't know. Like, go to the game, bro.
Like, okay, wait. When you get on the plane, you
I
don't talk to the people.
I talk to
Are
nobody.
you serious? I always talk to people next to me. I need to know who the fuck. Hey, if something happened, who? I give you that look. Hey, motherfucker, who gonna pop off? If I need to pop a motherfucker, I need you to know that. Hey, you next. So if you're a terrorist and I swing first, I need you right behind me. Bow. Damn, man, you know what the fuck? That's crazy. Hey, I like to. Then I also like to talk to. And let me tell you, I'm gonna be honest. Who said? Bro, forgot he was on camera. But the other part is, I like to know. Hey, is there some crazies around me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you go, I want you to know that I'm a nice guy, just in case you like, yo, I'm about to stab up this whole play. Hey, but that's my boy. He was cool. He was nice to me. You know what I'm saying? I like to ask shit like, hey, what you doing in a new play? I want to know that you got plans. Because if you like, man, I ain't doing shit. Hey, wait a minute. You got plans? I need to know your intention ain't to blow this motherfucker up. I need to know that next week you got some shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I need to know. Oh, okay, you going there? Cool. You got plans. You not blowing this bitch up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that.
He said it's the best time to communicate. Might meet someone who could change your life.
No, yeah, I've talked to some really cool. I've talked to some cool people traveling. I always at least, and I'm not saying, hey, I talk the whole time, but I always at least say, kind of do the hey, basic introduction. Oh, where you going? Type conversation. You know, when we first kind of sit down. Now, you know, when we take off and people start to get into their movies and shit, you know. I don't, but I definitely always, at least the people sitting next to me, I always try to have a little quick conversation.
Next to you going?
West Virginia.
Oh, that guy was sitting next to you.
Yeah, he was sitting next to me.
What about the other person next to him?
So on this side of me, so
you had the middle seat?
On one of the flight with the West Virginia guy had the middle
what
seat.
kind of podcast is this, bro?
Well, what is all started with? But it was a lady, and she was going. So if you talk about the flight to Pasco, she was going. Is that how you say? How you say?
Go ahead, bro. You trying to throw out my government, man? Go ahead. Come on.
That's not where you live, motherfucker. That's a whole area. That's an airport. Listen. If you want to come see me, fly into Jacksonville. That doesn't tell anybody anything. That's a whole area that airport covers.
Come on.
But the person, she was going to. She was coming back. She lives in. I don't even want to say. She lives in the area. This motherfucker is. So
no,
not in. She lives in
like 4 flights. So I thought.
Well, I'm talking about specifically the one with, but I can tell you, literally every plane I talked to the person at least next to me, except for one plane I didn't have anybody next to me.
Have you ever had any weird interactions doing that?
Like
that you remember?
Yeah. So I can tell you, and again, this is actually crazy. Now I'm not going to go deep into either one of these. On one plane, okay, so my dad used to travel a lot. Stephen, as you know, I'm a junior, so me and my dad have the same name. So I used to use his code, whatever his little travel thing, to like get upgraded to first class. So on 2 different planes, the first plane, this is probably before your time, I sat right next to, you'll remember this. I sat right next to Henry Winkler. Now, do you know who Henry Winkler is?
What the hell is that, bro?
Okay, perfect. I'm going to tell you who it is. Now, this is not what he's famous from, but I'm going to tell you how you know him. You seen The Waterboy?
Yeah.
He was the coach on The Waterboy. He was Waterboy's coach. Like you remember, and he was scared of the other coach.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he's actually known for being the Fonz in Happy Days. So I sat right next to him. But I also sat 2 rows behind, 2 rows and to the left of Dame Dash. Now, when you're in those situations, like I didn't. Now, Henry Winkler, he was sitting on the outside, and as people were walking in, they were like, "Oh, the Fonz." And the only thing I ever said to him was like, "Dang, that has to get kind of annoying." He was like, "Oh, I'm used to it." And then he was telling me he was writing a children's book. So if you ever look this up, Henry Winkler. So he was going to promote his children's book. And then that was it. And then I left him alone. I didn't want to, but he sat right next to me. Dame Dash, like I said, was 2 rows up from him, but I didn't like go over and say hi or nothing like that. And I didn't talk to him at all.
You never had like no bad experiences though, like sitting, like talking to people.
Man, okay, I'm gonna tell you this story. I'm a little nervous to tell this story, y'all. All right, listen, but I'll tell the story. I was flying to meet a ship. If you guys don't know, I'm in the Navy. I was flying to meet a ship. This is a couple years. You were little still. This is a couple years after 9/11. I had to fly into Germany. Why are you laughing?
Maybe you shouldn't tell this story.
No, it's too late now. I started. This man, like, we ain't even talking about college football. But
this happens a lot on this channel. We get to rambling. So if you just like conversation, make sure you subscribe, man.
So on the plane, now mind you, this is a couple years after, but still close enough where, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a little concerning. So I go to Germany and I'm on, and again, I'm just going to say a Middle Eastern airline. Like the name of the plane was Middle Eastern, and 90% of the people on the plane were Middle Eastern in traditional Middle Eastern garb, right? So I was kind of a little nervous anyway, but I dozed off. Right. And this is how I also know how I would react in this situation. I wake up to this Middle Eastern guy standing up and screaming. And I'm thinking, how the fuck do I get to him? I'm about to beat this dude's ass. Right? This is literally like, how do I get over to this guy? Because there's a middle row between us. I'm on the right side. There's a middle section. He's on the left side. And I'm like, if I sneak up behind him, like I could bust him in his shit. Like, and he's not going like, I'm literally thinking this, and I'm on the outside. So I'm literally like getting ready to put this plan into motion. Like, I'm like undoing my seatbelt, like, yo, I'm not going out like this. Like, I'm about to beat this motherfucker's ass. But he's screaming, mind you, he's talking. And again, but the person next to him was having a medical situation. So he was trying to get somebody to come help him. But I was about to fuck this dude up. I was like, yo, if I get over, like, if I come up, because there's a little, you walk up and then there's the bathroom, but it cuts over to the other side. And I'm like, bruh, if I'm real quiet, I could probably sneak up behind this motherfucker. And man, hopefully somebody else, but I'm about to clock this motherfucker. And then we about to, I'm not going out like that. But and again, imagine a Middle Eastern plane, mostly Middle Eastern people. I dozed off. This guy is screaming. And I don't know what he's saying. And I'm like, oh shit, nobody. No, you ain't about you ain't about to give me nobody. I'm not just gonna sit here and blow up. I got to whoop your ass. So, but yeah, fortunately I kind of figured out what was going on. And actually I figured out because I'm undoing my seatbelt and shit, like, yo, let me try to be real inconspicuous and try to walk around. And then the person comes over the PA and they're saying like, hey, any doctors on but they say it first in Farsi or whatever, Middle Eastern language, but then they repeat it in English. And I was like, oh shit. Oh, okay. All right, I'm good. Because I thought, right, for a second, I thought like, yo, I ain't going out like this. My kids gonna know their daddy fought.
That's crazy.
But yeah, this has nothing to do with college football. But yeah, that's true ass story. Like I said, 3 or 4 years after 9/11.
the lady sitting behind you watching you size of the situation.
Well, the funny part is, like, I'm kind of like, you wake up and you like, what the fuck? And I'm kind of like, oh, wonderful, like kind of freaking out. And like I said, and again, I've had a couple of those moments, those fight or flight moments. And sometimes in those moments, like, you don't necessarily perceive the danger, right? Like, so some people do, and this is kind of the fight or flight mentality where you like, hey, I'm going to go jump in the fight. And then some people are like, oh shit, let me get away from this. I'm not like even like being receptive to like what's going on around me. I'm literally like, how do I get over to this dude? Like, oh man, it'll look weird if I cut through the aisle. Like, hey, let me get by. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really like, yo, okay. Like I said, I planned this whole shit. All right, I'm gonna take my seatbelt off. I'm gonna make it look like I'm walking to the bathroom, see if he says something. If not, I'm gonna cut back around, come up behind him real quietly. And like I said, I'm like, take my belt off, and I'm like, get ready. And then they say the thing of a thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
If you would have
cool.
did that, you would have been in
Bro, I'd have been in motherfucking some Middle Eastern jail for punching the dude for no fucking reason. I'd have been a casualty. That fucking took me to jail for assault. And I'd have been trying to explain, wait a minute. Let me explain what happened. But
was there no other Americans on board?
There were a couple. I'm not gonna say, yeah, I'd say it was mostly Middle Eastern. But there were a couple. It wasn't a lot. Which is why they said it also in English.
But you were by yourself, or there was none around you.
Yeah, I was flying to meet my ship, but I was the only person flying, yeah, I would have been gone. I was the only person flying in my group, I guess you'll say. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, true story.
That's crazy, man. Oh man.
But back to we can talk about Ohio State, Oregon. We got to dig into that game.
All right, yeah, we're obviously going to that game. Gonna record probably some vlog or something for the channel for it. What is your expectation going to that game?
A good game. Yeah, bro, they needed something. But I expect to see a good game. These are the two powers in the Big Ten right now. I think we're going to see the beginning of a long rivalry. Oregon just being who they are with the uniforms and the Nike money, they're always going to recruit well, and they're always going to have a say in what happens in the Big Ten as long as they're in the conference. And I think the same can be said for Ohio State. I think we've played them a couple times throughout the years, but this is not a team that we play super often. I think you're going to see the beginning of a rivalry. And I'm going to say even for this year, and I know we kind of talked about it, this year is kind of unique in I don't suspect that this is the last time these two teams are going to play. I think these are the two teams that will be in the Big Ten Conference Championship. And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, these teams also met in the playoffs. So this might be a 3-part series just this year. What I want to see as an Ohio State fan is, after seeing Genty kind of run on them, I think we have probably, I hope at least, that we have a little bit of a better offensive line than Boise State. Now, I'm not going to say Trey or Q are better running backs than Genty. I want to give him his respect. He is a heck of a running back. But I think that duo behind what I think is a better offensive line, I think we're going to try to really play power football and make life hard for them, especially in the trenches. Again, we are bringing back a lot of experience there. But I want to see, because again, we have not played a team of this caliber this year. And I can talk and I can look and I can see a lot of the talent, but it's different when you're playing at Oregon, right? There's a difference between Oregon and Michigan State or Iowa or any of the other teams we've played so far. So I want to see how it translates. And I say this for both teams. Same for Oregon. I think Dylan Gabriel is a heck of a quarterback. I like Tez and I like Evan Stewart and I like a lot of the players they have. I think this is going to be the mark of, are these teams national championship contenders? And I mean bigger than just this game, bigger than just the Big Ten. Can these teams take the field with the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texases, can they go take the field with the SEC champion or the SEC contenders? I think you're going to see that in this game. What team is real, or are both of these teams real? And what team is not? And one of these teams, I don't want to say is going to get exposed, but I think is going to write a story. And it might be, we may come away from this game saying both of those teams are really, really good. I think we left the Alabama-Georgia game saying both of those teams are really, really good. And they're going to have something to say with who wins the national championship. I think this game has the ability to expose one of these teams as pretenders. What's your thoughts?
I just want to see a good game. I just hope that it's not a situation where one team gets, beat by 17 plus or something crazy. That's lit, bro. We're going to the game as well. I just want to see a good one. Now, I'm not expecting an Alabama-Georgia type game. That would be, a little bit, I think, too much to ask for. Would I like to see it? Sure, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just want to see a competitive game into the fourth quarter. Obviously, I don't really have a horse in the race. I'm just going to see a good game, obviously. But overall, I want to see how Dylan Gabriel looks because he obviously transferred there for a reason. He hasn't lived up to the same amount of hype that he did at Oklahoma, in my opinion. So I want to see how he looks. I want to see how Will Howard looks and Jeremiah Smith looks against another top team. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith has looked really good. We saw Ryan Williams looked elite against Georgia. So I want to see if Jeremiah Smith can do that as well against a top team in Oregon. But overall, I'm just excited to go to a football game somewhere that I haven't been, obviously. Oregon is one of the top 25, schools that you'd want to go play or want to go see, as far as uniforms, atmosphere. I just think it'll be cool. It's one of the best, teams on the West Coast. So I think it'll be fun. And
you see Oregon's doing a blackout?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, they announced they're wearing all black, and it's supposed to, which is actually kind of wild because I actually brought a black Ohio State hoodie, so I may blend in, but I got a red one too. But yeah, they already announced their uniforms for this game. So
Ohio State's wearing all white or what?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Well, not all. White, gray. So gray helmet, white jersey, gray. I assume. I don't know this.
Do y'all even have white pants?
Do we? Yeah. Well, so when you say do we have white pants, we have ones that we have wore with special uniforms. So we're a team in our normal uniform set. That is only gray pants, only our scarlet pants. But we have wore white pants before.
Let me look up.
It's just not in our normal. So our normal uniform set is the white jersey or the scarlet jersey with our gray pants.
Where did you see the blackout?
Well, I can't show you.
So I see the uniform combo, which are really tough, but I don't see
it's the all black, right?
Yeah, but you say blackout, like is the whole stadium supposed to wear it too?
Oh, I don't know what the stadium's supposed to. It said something about
just made that up, bro.
Oregon blackout.
You just made that up, bro. You've been playing too much NCAA.
Utah State, maybe. But I'll look it up. I'll see what I found. Maybe it was just they're wearing blackout uniforms. Maybe that's what it said.
I see they are wearing the black uniforms. It doesn't say what uniforms y'all are wearing though, unless I'm tripping.
Like I said, I would assume we're wearing our.
The all gray would be tough.
I don't think because that's a home uniform.
I'm not allowed to wear it on the world.
So again, traditionally you would not, but again, I'm not. I'm not.
Y'all like Clemson, that's why, and Penn State. Nobody. Well, y'all got more uniforms.
No, because we that's what I'm saying. But we have our normal uniform set is either the white, the gray helmet, white jersey, gray pants, or the gray helmet, scarlet jersey, gray pants. But we have special uniforms like the all gray, the all black, but that's not part of our normal uniform set.
Yeah, everybody says that. I don't really think that's the case.
You don't like the purple Clemsons?
They wear it for like Veterans Day or something. I don't know.
I like it.
If the fans wear black to Ohio State, gonna spark them. That's disrespectful. Guess we'll see. I'm excited for it.
Well, I assume the Penn State game is going to be a whiteout. because I think it's supposed to be a night game. I'm sure Penn State's going to try to hype that. So, I mean, we've had it before. Penn State games have been away. I mean, I think we win when it happens. So, hopefully, it is a blackout.
Yeah. That's gonna wrap up the live show previewing.
Who's Clemson? Clemson got a bye. You ain't ever talk about Clemson.
We play Wake Forest. I don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. It's
Oh,
I hope we
okay.
win.
Are you have any concerns? Any level of concern?
No.
Okay.
If we lose to Wake Forest, then I mean we should lose every game.
Oh, okay. So Penn State is not doing it. Okay, so they're doing it versus Washington. I just thought they may do it during versus Ohio State.
Maybe
So there it is. There it is. I knew it was coming.
I guess this man doesn't know one player on Wake Forest, man. He's gonna say.
You see, Sam Hartman got cut.
There you go.
He got cut.
Who was he on? The
He was on the Commanders. No, he was on the Commanders. He got cut today. He literally got cut today.
thing. He'll go be a QB
Coach or something.
An analyst at Wake Forest or something.
Yeah, I can see that. But all right.
Yeah, so that's gonna wrap up the Week 7 preview. We'll be doing the Week 7 recap on Sunday night. And we'll be telling you guys about obviously the game. Hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully we get some good footage for the game.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you guys for stopping by. Those of you guys who are new to the channel, please like the video, turn notification bell on, and also subscribe. Yeah, probably he's gonna be playing in the whatever league that's in, the one where Destroying was at. But
what, did Destroy? Is he back playing, or did he tear his? I know he
or what?
didn't he like tear his ACL or something like that.
I think he like broke his neck or something crazy.
Oh shit! Because I'm always wondering, like, why did this guy not get a shot? He can really kick, at least in the little videos he was showing.
Well, there's no point for him to go. What's the point?
Well, I think he actually wants to play. I know he makes a lot of money YouTubing, but I think he actually wants to play.
Yeah, but like, how much drive do you have if, like, you pulling in?
Oh, he's not ever playing again. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah, like,
I mean, he's a multi-millionaire, so
yeah, like you getting paid $400,000 a month. Why am I go kick for $400,000 a year? Like, come on.
No, that's a good point.
When I can go kick at the local high school with the kids and just make videos
and play around, yeah, and then you on ski. I know I'm with you.
But we'll see you guys on Sunday. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully Clemson doesn't lose Wake Forest because broken neck is crazy. I know. Hopefully, I mean, if it was like a stinger.